Bueno, me encuentro con uno de los actores que interpreta a un dios que es parte Dios, que es parte humano. Estoy hablándole de Sam Worthington. Hola Sam, un placer.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. We're back. Let me begin saying, I really like this movie, even more than the first one.
Good.
Did you watch it already?
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, that's a good news.
That's what we set out to do, yeah.
Yeah. So, how was different? We're telling a story 10 years later. How different is this one from the previous one?
I think with the first one, there were several mistakes that I think we kind of forgot about. It's still a great movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wanted to explore the family aspect a bit more. The movie's about responsibility within your family, to your brother, to your son, to your father. But your family just happens to be Zeus, the god of gods,
Yeah,
or Ares, the god of war, and we're stuck in a world of monsters. But by focusing more on that, we get more heart, and then you kind of enjoy the ride a bit more. Plus, we wanted to throw in more special effects and greater monsters. Of course, you do.
Yeah, but the effects, talking about the effects were very real. I really like this movie. It's more real than the first one.
Yeah, it's grittier and more grounded.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes from the new director, Jonathan Liebsman. I know me and him sat down and really nutted out the action scenes and worked closely with the special effects teams on the day in order to ground the special effects. So we know Cyclopses don't exist, we know a Mackay doesn't exist, but we've got to manufacture it that everyone believes. So you just are very conscientious of that all the time.
This is a 10 years after story. Perseus has changed a lot. He isn't like the first one that like he was like a superhero. Yeah. This time he's more human. He suffers. Yeah. He gets down.
He hurts.
Yeah, he hurts.
Yeah. I thought he's a fisherman. He's a dad now, and there was something that even in the first one he was more a conduit for the action. He was like an action man all the time, and I'd seen that in other films. Guys all ripped up, taking a hit, and it doesn't do anything, or the choreography for the fights is very fluid and stylized, and I kind of wanted it to go back to, I used to watch movies like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, where Mel and Bruce put their body on the line and their feet are cut up and therefore you know they can't run, or it really hurts them. And so we went and looked at movies like that, and you know, old westerns we looked at where the gunslinger gets really shot up, and that's what we wanted to make. Perseus is a gunslinger, and it hurts to hit and it hurts to get hit. Yeah.
On Clash, you did all your stunts. This time you did it also?
A lot of them, 95% is me. Yeah, I think my stuntman has it easy.
Yeah.
He sits in the trailer while this idiot puts himself on the line.
Of course.
Yeah.
What was the hardest things to make? It was a special scene that you think, oh, this really cost.
It's all of them. When you're about to do them, your adrenaline's high and everything's exciting anyway. You're like a big boy or a big kid kind of thing. It's in hindsight when you're measuring your bruises, and you know that's when it hurts. But it's more a thing of I like designing action scenes with a director, so they're different. So when I'm being chased by a chimera, it's not about the chimera, it's about finding my son, even though the village is blowing up. That was different. The fight with the Minotaur is fighting your own demons, but I wanted it like a UFC fight. Same with Ares, he can't beat the god of war, so let's smash Perseus to bits through columns and just break him. And to me that was like Rocky, Rocky IV or something, with Drago. And so that's what we looked at. We looked at every action scene and said, how do we make it better? What should it be like? How do we make them all different?
There is something about this movie that you said before. There is an underlying the story beside the action that it's great. There is about family values, there is about romance and that kind of stuff. And there's deeper conversations with the gods and the great actors that you have on this movie. Is that part of what makes this movie better than the first one?
Absolutely. That's what we had to do. I read blogs and read criticism and talk to people, and that was what they felt was missing. They felt that in the first one, what was missing was this heart, this family heart. And when you've got people like Liam Neeson and Ray Fiennes, well, you utilise that. You don't just have them standing in the corner yelling. You bring in their heart and their kind of fears and dilemmas. And then you've got a movie that, even if it wasn't set in the Gods and Monsters, is quite an interesting tale of this family. And you know, we just happened to have the spectacle to add to it.
Yeah, of course. Were you a big fan of mythology before embarking on Titans?
To be honest, no.
You have to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Well, I've read. Obviously, we read all the myths, but what I want to do, I didn't want it to be a history lesson. I want to mine from those myths and create our own world. Perseus didn't take on the Minotaur, Theseus
Yeah.
did. But in our world, he does. So we're creating our own set of rules, and that's exciting for us as filmmakers.
Of course. If you weren't Perseus, who would you be? Well, what kind of god would
Myself.
you like to be? Yourself.
Myself.
You're the god.
A lowly villager. A lowly villager just living a quiet life, swimming, getting fish.
Yeah, that's
That
nice.
to me is perfect.
Well, thank you. It was great talking to you. It's a great movie. I really liked it before seeing it. Well, it's going to be the same. It's not the same. It's better.
Good, man.
So,
yeah,
well,
I agree.
thank you.